Prime Time Local News, serving the Lakeland and Midwest regions.
Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome to another week of Prime Time Local News. Connor Chan and Elise Darwish, as always, bringing you all the great stuff from this past weekend and, of course, all the stuff coming up from today, including our question of the day now that spring is finally upon us. Potholes start to emerge, and we asked you, in your opinion, what are some of the worst potholes in the city? We got a decent amount of people that were very vocal about their opinion.
Yeah, I bet. Potholes is definitely one of the only annoyances about spring, in my opinion, but haven't found any ones that are too crazy yet, but
yeah,
I gotta drive around a little more here in the lake.
Yeah, well, we'll read some of the comments just to find out which ones are some of the more severe ones, but for right now, let's head over to Brett Holden, who's on location today.
Well, today we are out here in the great outdoors near Kitscoty as we will be joining Dale Swan out here, who's running Siberian Husky Tours. We're going to be talking to him a little bit about how he got into Siberian Husky Tours, especially being here in Lloydminster and around Lloydminster as well. And we will even be going for a ride as well. So that will be coming up in this hour and on tonight's show. But for now, let's head back into the studio where Elise has a look at your local news.
Great, thank you, Brad. Well, business in the oil and gas sector are moving away from their distribution of oil and putting more emphasis on the production. Since 2014, Secure Energy Services has begun to invest more in the production side of the business because of the dip in the economy.
And so in 2014, we're about 50-50 or 46-54. And so the sensitivity to drilling and completions and kind of new activity were such that we changed our focus to more production related.
Clark believes that to help the oil and gas sector in tougher times, the public needs to let their opinions be known.
Focus and attention is primarily given to the naysayer or to the objector. And so when a regulatory body is trying to review an application, if all they hear is negativity, then the process either gets delayed or it gets rejected. And that fear is what is driving investors away from Canada.
Clark also says there's lots of information out there for people to educate themselves about issues in the oil and gas industry. And a Catholic school here in Lloydminster was presented with a very special relic. Mother Teresa Early Childhood Education Center was given a first-class relic of St. Teresa of Calcutta. The relic holds locks of hair of Mother Teresa and will be on display in the halls of the
relic
school.
Has already been attributed to a number of miracles, so it's pretty special that this is going to have a home in our school, and we look forward to the many blessings and miracles, we hope, that could come from this, just from having it in our building.
The relic was gifted to the school by Father Mike Bombach, pastor of the Ukrainian Catholic Church here in Lloydminster, and Father Mikhailo, parish priest from Westminster, BC.
Little did I know that he was working behind the scenes since last fall with some of his priest friends to bring this relic to Mother Teresa School. So it was because of Father Mike Bombach, who knew Father Mikhailo, that this was gifted to our school.
The relic is encased in a custom-made glass case in the halls of the school for anyone who walks by to see. And the first ever family fishing day took place at Sandy Beach on the weekend, and Jasmine King went down to see what it was all about.
The Family Fishing Day hooked many people to come down to Sandy Beach on Saturday to either learn how to fish or test their fishing skills. The event put on by Exile Outdoors wanted to get kids outside.
It's in conjunction with the Saskatchewan government. They call it Hofnod, hooked on fishing, not on drugs. And the whole idea is to get kids out fishing that might not have ever fished before, had a chance to do it. And then we added some hot dogs and hot chocolate and coffee and games and people. And here we are.
The event was a good way for families to teach their kids to appreciate the outdoors.
I think it's a great idea because you can never teach children about the outdoors too soon, too early. It's nice. We have a great day here. A lot of the parents came out and a lot of grandparents came out. A great turnout, and I think you'll probably see this happen again.
Even though most of the people here already knew how to fish, it was still a good way to spend time with family.
It's a very good time because you're just out fishing. Like, there's not really much other to do than just visit with your family.
Although not many fish were caught, around 300 people participated in the fishing day. Jasmine King, Primetime Local News.
And this weekend was a family expo, and once again, Jasmine King was out there to check it out.
The annual event is put on by the Tent Guys, and it helps show families what's available around Lloydminster, as well as keeping kids entertained.
Today is all about families, so to come on down and enjoy some time with your family, whether that's singing and dancing with the shows on stage. You can enjoy other productions, like there's an illusionist on the stage. We've got bounce houses, we've got different products and services that maybe people don't know about in Lloyd, so today is all about just spending time together.
Midwest Furniture and Appliances have sponsored the expo since it began and enjoy coming back every year.
It's great to see families out here and the kids. They get to kind of check out their bunk beds. They get to check out beds and recliners and glider rockers for the moms to be. And it's just fun to be a part of the community and help families just shop local.
The expo also gives a chance to lesser-known businesses and clubs to show themselves off, including the Lloydminster Armbenders.
This is definitely the way to get our word out and to tell everybody, other than social media, how to build our sport and build the club and let people know that we're available to train, teach, educate.
The expo was a success for both parents and kids. Jasmine King, Primetime Local News.
Business education is at the forefront in the month of March, and in this week's retrospect, I take a look at a conference that is still going strong here in the border city.
How we need to work with the younger generation and change our perspective.
It's a concern that has long dominated the workforce, meshing young and old views into one environment.
My generation loves to say that the younger generation has gone to hell in a handbasket, and I like to tell my generation that we made the handbasket.
But according to Brenda Robinson, there are actually 6 generations working side by side in today's job market with a varying work ethic.
And the solution is communication, understanding, recognizing strengths, celebrating differences. Differences are different. They're not difficult. They're just a difference.
Robinson is the keynote speaker at the kickoff to Lloydminster Business Education Month, with a full slate worth of workshops for local entrepreneurs.
It provides an opportunity for business owners and employees to get some professional development throughout the month. And the focus, of course, is on business education, so it provides training locally.
Senior HR consultant at Service Credit Union. I've been with Service for about 10 years.
The Lloydminster Chamber of Commerce continues to partner with local organizations to put on the Business Education Conference. And this year, the focus was on mental health of workers.
They're taking a longer-term view about the dynamics in the workplace and how things are shifting. Things are shifting in terms of the people who are showing up at work, but also the processes and how those things are changing. And I think Lloydminster Chamber of Commerce is trying to understand that for the health of the community, but also competitive advantage.
It is also very apparent the different advantages millennial workers have, and the focus was on how to channel the skills and use them as a benefit in the workplace.
They had different parental influences, they have different technological stressors, but also tremendous capabilities that we need to be able to tap into. They're more globally diverse than any generation before.
As the workforce continues to change, the business conference will continue to adapt to help pass on important information to the city of Lloydminster. And that's it for this week's retrospect.
Retrospect is brought to you by Webb's Machinery. Webb's Machinery, your New Holland dealer in Vermilion, Bakerville, and Lamont.
And now we're going to go to Brett Holden, who's on location today.
Well, we are outside here and we're joined by Dale Swan, who's running Siberian Husky tours throughout Lloydminster here and kind of the area. And I wanted to talk to you about just how you get into Siberian Husky tours.
It's just the love of the dogs that got me into it, and then did research and stuff, found out about the whole dog setting stuff, went down to Holly Dog Tours, as a trial run to see if I could do it or whatnot because of my disability. No problems doing it there. So then for college, to finish off my applied degree, I made a deal with my instructor. I told her if I can get a business up and running, run it for 1 season, because the course I took was a guiding course and tourism course, if I get my applied degree after that. She said, sure. So first year, came 1,000 above the red line and got my applied degree, and I've stuck with it ever since.
And here we are now. So
yeah,
now
about 6 years later.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
We have this here.
This is the tour sled.
The tour sled. How many dogs can fit kind of pull in this? And I guess how many are there? Too many for a sled like this, and how many is too less for a sled like this?
Too less for a sled like this, I would say 3. Too many, you can never hook up too many as long as you've got the experience and know how you're handling your dogs. Because up at Cooking Lake Blacksburg Park is a place I also did tours and stuff. There's a couple people that had only been sledding for 2 years. Told me about one trail, Elkhorn Trail, which has got a lot of tight corners. Told me taking an 8-dog team down it is a bad idea because of the close cut corners, and I got to that trail, and I'm a curious, adventurous kind of guy, so I thought, I gotta do this, and I had no problem. But after I got to that trail, I kind of thought, wait, I've been doing this for 6 years, they've been doing it for 2, so I'm thinking the experience part came into play is their dogs ain't as well trained as mine was, and Absolutely. I didn't have that experience behind me.
Perfect. So we'll have a little bit more coming up from, I guess, out here, but for now, let's head back in the studio.
All right, thanks very much, Britt. Take a look at your current temperature outside right now. 4 degrees with sunshine and a bit of cloud coverage. We had another gorgeous, gorgeous day today. Decent winds, though, at 20, so it might feel a little bit, just a little cooler, maybe more like 2 degrees. Take a look at some records for this time of year. 11 degrees back in 2001 was our warmest day, and our coldest day was back just the next year at minus 27, excuse me. Let's take a look at our satellite radar map. Nothing really, as all it's going to be mostly sunshine, mostly throughout most of the region there, as we are going to experience over the next couple of days, but we have had gorgeous weather over the last couple of days, including our weekend. No watches or warnings to showcase right now due to the very nice weather that we've been having. Some other temperatures to take a look right now. As right now 4 degrees, as I mentioned, here in Lloydminster. Then we get to double digits further out west. That's right, double digits. 12 out in Edmonton, 10 in Athabasca, 14 in Whitecourt, 16 in Edson, Jasper, and Rocky Mountain House. Out east, still all staying in single digits. 6 out in Meadow Lake as well as in Prince Albert. 4 degrees in Melfort, 3 in Saskatoon, and 5 for North Battleford. Let's head a little more in depth to our regional temperatures right now. As my thing, there we go. -6 overnight for North Battleford. Cools down a little bit, then gets to tomorrow at 5 degrees with sunshine and clouds with the daytime high. Cold Lake sitting at -3, drops down from the +9 that they're currently at right now, and then heading into -10 degrees, excuse me, on tomorrow with some cloud coverage and a bit of sunshine there. For us here in Lloydminster, we have about -2 overnight, so still pretty decently warm, and then heading into tomorrow, our daytime high of 5 with mostly sunny skies. Pretty much the same results that we had today. Take a look at the next 3 days. -4 to start off Wednesday morning, then gets to 5 degrees again on Wednesday with all clear skies, and then -3 to start off Thursday morning, and then 5 degrees the daytime high on Thursday. So it's pretty much going to be the same and very consistent all week long, which we'll showcase in our 7-day forecast later on. But right now, we'll take a little break. We'll be right back with more primetime local news.
Welcome back. Taking a look at your ag news now. A pair of federal cabinet ministers have been called on to testify before parliamentary committee on China's move to reject canola shipments from one of Canada's largest grain producers. The House of Commons Trade Committee voted Sunday to hear from Agriculture Minister Marie-Claude Bibeau and International Trade Minister Jim Carr on the Canada-China canola issue during the week of April 1st. Beijing recently suspended canola imports from Richardson International for what one Chinese official alleged was the detection of hazardous organisms in the company's product. In an interview last week, Carr said Canada is pushing to solve the economically important matter, but he added that China had yet to provide evidence to back up the claims. And a new association has been formed in British Columbia as the province's artisan cheese sector comes of age. There are approximately 25 artisan cheese producers in BC, and Agriculture Minister Lana Popham says the BC Artisan Cheese Association will represent them along with all the sectors of the industry, from milk producing to marketing. She says the association offers an opportunity for cheesemakers to network with other British Columbians to increase value-added food processing in the province. A government news release says cheesemakers turn BC-supplied dairy products into an amazing variety of cheeses, ranging from blue to cheddar and brie, and using milk from goats, sheep, and water buffalo, as well as cows. And that's your egg news. Sports is next, but first we'll take a look at your egg prices.
Every member of the City Centre Auto Body team has been through extensive training. We're constantly upgrading our team's education to reflect current collision repair technique.
Taking a look at your local sports now, a rough start as the Bonnyville Pontiacs playing from behind in the North Division semis tonight against the Spruce Grove Saints. The key to regaining control of the series on the road lies in getting back to what's helped the squad to best perform this season in franchise history. Josh Ryan has more.
A roaring home crowd and the series' first goal was a promising start for the Pontiacs. However, 2 nights and several mistakes later, they find themselves down 2-0 on the road and needing a reset during preparation.
Win the warm-up. And how do we win the warm-up? And it starts with our preparation, it starts with our stretch, it starts with what we're going to do on the ice, and it starts to making sure that if we do things right in the warm-up, then that will translate into how we're going to start the game.
The series' first 2 contests were typical of the intensity you expect come playoff time.
The emotional control was a little bit out of hand early in the game, and I think the crowd is a lot more, into it than they are in the regular season, so I think that played into it a bit.
After losing by 3 in Game 1, the Axe had a strong start on Saturday, but breaks in discipline and focus led to a lack of speed and plenty of scoring chances for the Saints.
You stop moving your feet, you're stationary. Guys have the opportunity and the ability to move around you, which means you're reaching, sticks are getting in feet, and if you're clutching and grabbing, unfortunately, it's not the 1990s or 80s anymore. You actually have to move and play and take good angles.
Based on the Saints' execution, toughness, and energy thus far, maintaining intensity becomes even more important on the road.
This has a chance to be a special year, but we also know it's going to be tremendously difficult, and we know that that team is going to give us everything that we've got, and we've got to be at our very best.
I think we just need to get hard on them on the forecheck, sort of show that we're here to stay in their end and we're going to make them work. And then once we get the puck past them a few times, I think we're good enough to keep the puck out of our net.
Staying out of the box and getting back to solid puck movement are also critical.
As long as we stick to what we should be doing, I truly believe we are the better team. So if we worry about ourselves more than we worry about them, I think we should put ourselves in a good spot.
We know how to play the game. We've practiced countless number of times this year, played over 60 games. So I think we just need to realize that it's just like any other game. Even though we know that what's at stake, we just need to settle down and play our game.
And with the precision shown thus far by the Saints, giving away more opportunities will be courting disaster and an end to a promising postseason. Josh Ryan, Primetime Local Sports, Bonnyville.
The Lloydminster men's futsal team reached the ACAC final for the first time since 2015. The Rustlers came into the semifinals and as underdogs, but managed to hang on to a late lead for the 5-4 victory. In the final, they were no match for the defending champion Keyano Huskies, who have won 6 titles in 7 years.
All right,
and the Rustlers men's curling team was eliminated at the national championship this morning. Lakeland lost a heartbreaker 9-8 to Humber College out of Ontario, finishing 5th in the round robin and just short of the semifinals. And the Lloyd Comps basketball squads were at their first regional playoff over the weekend. The women won the 5th place game 46-42, while the men took home gold and will compete at the Hoopla this weekend. The Barons took down Estevan the final 104-75, and they will face Regina, Winston, and Knoll this Thursday evening. And now we're going to go to Brett Holden, who's on location and gets to go for a ride with the Huskies today.
Well, we're back out here in the great outdoors, and Dale Swan joins us once again, and we're going to be taking a Siberian Husky tour in just a little bit, but let's talk about what to expect when we head out there.
What to expect is that since we're kind of going down a hill, the dogs will pick up speed, but we'll be able to keep that slowed down with the brakes.
Well, how does the brakes kind of work with the sled? I guess I kind of assumed that it was just, here's the sled, here's the dogs, let's go.
Well, the way the brakes work, there are 2 sets of them I have on this sled. I've got the set in the back where I would be, and a set where you could be, or you could be in the front, wherever you like, the person likes to be. As the big one there you can see is called the snow hook.
Right.
It's kind of like an emergency brake. It drops into the snow, you boot it down, and it holds the whole team in space.
Right.
In case the dogs get tangled up or whatever.
So it's definitely not just here's the sled, here's the dogs, let's get going.
There's a lot to it kind of thing.
Absolutely. Well, let's talk about the dogs now too, sorry.
Yeah,
let's talk about how many dogs are there, how many dogs will we be getting ready for here today?
Well, I have 9. We'll be using 6 today because that's pretty much all we need really for one person kind of thing.
Right.
6 dogs is sufficient. Even in the wet, sticky snow, that won't be too big of a problem for them. They'll be harnessed up and hooked up in a straight-on line.
Right. And pretty much we'll be on the go.
We'll be on our way to go.
Perfect.
Rip down the hill and back up the hill again.
Perfect. And that'll be coming up next, so stay tuned for that. But let's head back in the studio for now.
All right, thanks very much, Brett. Can't wait to see you get on that sled and be pulled by a bunch of Siberian Huskies there. Take a look at some current temperatures right now. 4 degrees right now for us in Lloydminster, Marwayne, Vermilion. 5 out in Vegreville, Wainwright, Provost, and Macklin sitting at 8 degrees. Bonnyville and St. Paul sitting at 6. Lac-La-Biche at 11. 12 in Edmonton right now. Heading out further east, 5 degrees mostly out in Maidstone, North Battleford, and St. Walburg. 4 out in Meadow Lake, 6 in Green Lake, and 7 out in Isle La Crosse. So take a look at some other temperatures now. 9 in La Loche right now, and Buffalo Narrows. 7 in Flin Flon. 8 in Flin Flon, excuse me, 7 in La Ronge, 6 in South End, 4 in Wollaston Lake, 5 in Stony Rapids, and 4 on Uranium City. Further out west, Grand Prairie sitting at 11, Peace River at 7, 5 degrees in Slave Lake, 12 in Fort McMurray, 13 for High Level, and 10 in Fort Chipaway. Heading down south, 12 degrees out in Lethbridge, 8 in Medicine Hat, 11 in Calgary, 13 in Banff, 4 degrees in Coronation. Heading down on the Saskatchewan side, 6 degrees out in Kindersley and Swift Current, 4 degrees in Regina and Moose Jaw, 2 degrees in Estevan, and 3 out in Yorkton. Take a look at some temperatures for tomorrow. 5 degrees for us at the daytime high here in Lloydminster, 8 degrees in Vermilion, 6 out in Marwayne, 10 in Cold Lake and Pierceland, 9 in St. Walburg, 11 in Green Lake, 12 in Isle La Crosse, 11 in Macklin, 5 for North Battleford, 11 out in Edmonton, 5 in Wainwright, 9 down in Provost, 10 in Lac-La-Biche, 9 in Bonnyville, and 5 for St. Paul. As we take a look at your school day forecast for tomorrow, it should be a very gorgeous day. Another one as we had here today. 2 degrees when you wake up for 8 a.m., 5 degrees at recess time, then 5 degrees at lunchtime, then 5 at home time for that walk, which in this case, it's not going to be so much of a hassle anymore with no extreme cold warnings or any kind of snow whatsoever. Take a look at the next 7 days. It's going to be very, very consistent with 5s and 6s. -4 to start off Wednesday morning, then it gets to the daytime high there of 5 degrees with all sunshine. -3 will start off Thursday morning and then goes to 5 degrees for the daytime high with some decent winds still, so it might feel a little bit cooler, but not too dramatically. -2 to start off Friday morning, then gets up to 6 degrees on Friday with clear skies there. -3 Saturday morning, then gets up to 6 degrees Saturday to the daytime high, excuse me, with a bit of cloud coverage there and a bit of sun. 9 degrees on Monday there. Should be a very nice day there. Mostly some cloudy skies, actually decent amount of cloudy skies. And then 6 degrees on Monday, 0 though in the morning. Mostly cloudy skies there. Should be a gorgeous day, gorgeous week rather, nonetheless. But we'll have more primetime local news coming up after the break.
Now we're going to go to Brett Holden, who is on location today.
Blind in the right eye. Oldest dog in my kennel. He can outlast any of these younger dogs. And he likes to do the most work, which you think a 16-year-old dog would rather not do. But if I put him in any other position than wheel, he gets mad at me.
So just into here?
There, wherever you like.
I'll sit.
Okay. Hey guys, easy now. Go now, guys. Go now, guys. Go now. Let's always get all the customers to just pull that out for me. Let's go, guys. Easy now, easy now. Yep. Keep on the good stuff, guys. Okay, guys. Easy now, easy now. Whoa, now. Okay, guys, let's go now. Go to the gym, guys. Go to the gym. Don't pull yourself off, Reva. Good boys, good girls. Okay, guys, home. Home. Home, guys. And don't take out Jim.
All right, so our question of the day springs from the fact that potholes are now starting to become a thing again, and with all that all that water that seeps in, it creates new cracks. Of course, with all that extreme cold we've been having, we asked you on Facebook where in the city is the worst one. So, on your opinion, so one person said 36th Street west of College Drive intersection, traveling east. There is also the Red Swan Pizza right in front of, between 36th Street and 51st Ave. I've seen that one. That's a big one, where a woman said she lost her tire, and worst one I've ever seen was that Red Swan one, and she said popped a tire there on Friday, and she said my soul did in fact leave my body.
Yeah, it sucks when you can't see them and it's too late to avoid, and then you just have to kind of deal with the consequences after. But I don't know, the only ones that I see, well, I guess it's everywhere, potholes are, it's going to happen. But just coming into Lloydminster, once everybody kind of slows down, I think it kind of chews up the road a little bit there too.
Yeah,
so.
And of course, there's one that I happened to see today, actually out filming potholes, ironically, is the one coming from coming from east, heading west on Highway 16 in front of the Cultural and Science Center. There's a lot of cars that took a blunt. They took I kind of cringed because I felt bad for the tires and the people driving, because of course it does a number on them.
You have to kind of, it's a totally different kind of spring driving here in Canada. You're dodging and weaving, and it gets a little bit sketchy out there.
Too much.
You just kind of have to be aware.
Have you got a flat tire off?
No, I haven't. I'm lucky, but it's that same thing. As soon as you hit it, you're like, oh no, this could be the one where I lose my tire. So yeah.
I have sympathy for that woman who had a flat tire from Red Swan.
Yeah.
Well,
sucks.
Let's talk about something that's more enjoyable, and that's pets, because it's a new week, which means a chance to win Pet Pad gift cards. So this is Goldie, submitted there by Jean. It's not very
camera shy, a little camera shy. That's okay.
Next we have Meg in a Wonder Woman
superhero
outfit. Very cute there, submitted there by Crystal.
Cute.
Up next we have Juniper.
Very surprised.
Cassie. Yeah, just look. Next that we have River, submitted there by Kate, just chilling.
Snuggled up.
Yeah, very, very adorable. And this is 10. Look at that! Look at that!
Cute.
Look at that smile though. Look at that face.
Yeah.
So cute. But this is your chance to win a Lloydminster Pet Pad gift card. If your pet was shown on today, we'll give it away at the end of the week.
We want to see your pets. Send photos of your pet and their name to our Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram to have them featured on Pet of the Day. Your name will be entered into a weekly draw for a gift certificate from the Pet Pad.
Joining us for the first time on Primetime Local News, all the way from Nashville, Tennessee, is Canadian country music artist Manny Blue. Manny, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Now, this is kind of interesting. I was having a look at your journey to becoming a country music star, and it's not really the traditional track that a lot of people take. You actually started out as an MMA fighter. Tell me a little bit about that.
I had a buddy who was doing karate, and we kind of he brought me to a MMA fight in Montreal, watching George St. Pierre, and fell in love with the sport right away and did it for 4 years and hoping to make a career out of it. I ended up getting hurt in my first fight, which I ended up thankfully winning, but I ended up tearing my quad. So I had to take some time off, and in that time I stumbled across a video of B.B. King playing guitar, and I thought that was really cool, and picked up a guitar and thought that it didn't hurt as bad as getting hit in the face. So it was a very easy switch to make, and I think it's one that my mom really likes.
Now, have you been singing for most of your entire life, or did you have to take lessons? Is it something that comes natural to you?
A little bit. I've always enjoyed it. We've always kind of had, my dad loves the microphone and loves to sing, and we've always had a karaoke machine, and my mom played piano and she likes to sing as well. So we've had it. It was never something I took that seriously until when I was hurt and picked up a guitar, and my buddies wanted me to play songs that they were listening to. So it became something that I became real passionate for and took it a little more seriously, and started, doing all the lessons and the learning and on how things actually, how everything goes.
So now you're living in Nashville. Why did you make that step, and has it been fruitful for you?
Certainly, yeah. No, I think it was a great move for me to make. I had come down to record the EP in the summer, and fell in love with the city. A lot of people were recommending making the move down because I was living up in Montreal, and it's not. The culture and the vibe is not the same as down here for country music, so I kind of just went for it and moved down here. I met a lot of people and songwriters and other artists in my band now. They're all guys that moved as well, and all have the same goal, so they became my best friends early on, and I'm enjoying it a lot.
Now tell me about the tour that you have coming up. You said you're going to do a few, I guess, smaller dates before you head out on the road with George Canyon, and you'll be coming here to Lloydminster.
That's right. Yeah, I'm very excited for the tour with George Canyon. I had a chance to speak to him a little bit, and he's a great guy. So I'm really looking forward to, learning how the road goes with him. I think he'd be a great mentor for that. So I'm looking forward for that. And we just want to make sure that we're on point and we're on pitch and everything works well. So we got a couple of dates in in the southern part of the States coming up at the end of March, just to make sure we're all settled in and ready to go.
Now tell me about the music that you're making and that you're releasing. You have some new songs and a new EP coming out?
Yeah, we have. We released 2 singles, X on My Heart and Looking Forward to Looking Back. We have another one kind of ready to go real soon, so we're excited to put that out. And then the album, the EP, will come out in the summer. So we're looking forward to. I'm looking forward to putting all the music out. I mean, we've been working on it for a little bit now, so having the chance to put it out and having people hear it and getting to see everyone's reaction to it now is really a fun experience.
And now, Manny, if somebody wants to listen to some of the music that you have out now or get information on the tour, what's the best way for them to do that? Traditional social media platforms and listening platforms, or where are you, I guess, out there on the wide world of social media?
Manny Blue Music on Instagram, Manny Blue Music on YouTube. You can visit mannybluemusic.com for all the information for the tour and tickets, and just stay up to date. And you can find all the 2 songs on Apple Music, Spotify, and Amazon, all the fun listening streaming sites.
Okay, great, Manny. Well, thank you so much for you to take the time to talk to us today. And hopefully we'll catch you again once more before you come out to Lloydminster and see you here as well. We have a lot of people that really love to see George Canyon, so it'll be nice to see both George and yourself together on the same stage when you're in Lloydminster and Edmonton and all the other dates in this area. So thank you once again, and good luck with the tour.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Welcome back to Primetime Local News. Josh and Buck here for a little sports talk on a Monday. Some exciting news locally with the regional basketball championships, first ones ever for the Lloyd Comp teams, and plenty of playoff hockey as well. So, But let's start with playoff hockey. The Bonnyville Pontiacs, the best season in the program's history, not the best start to a series in the program's history, getting blown out in Game 1 and then losing in double overtime on Saturday night.
Yeah, more than anything, Game 1 is Game 1, and sometimes you get a good start, and then sometimes you're almost over-jacked, as they say, the kids say, for game one, and you don't do the right things, and they lose that first one. But that second one's a heartbreaker. You lose in double overtime. Spruce Grove's up 2-0. Now they go back to Spruce Grove for 2 games, and it's going to be a tough one. They have to just, it sounds cliche-ish, but just go out there and win a period at a time, a shift at a time. Go out there and try to win on game 3, because if they lose game 3, down 3-0 against a Spruce Grove team who's pretty good, and they got a pretty good defenseman who calls Lloydminster home in TJ. So you know what? If you look at that, Bonnyville needs to win, and if they don't win game 3, she's done.
Indeed, especially with a team that defensive-minded and that good on the defensive end as a whole. Not to mention Davis, the goaltender, played spectacularly in the first 2 games for them. Another playoff series going on, Game 5 coming up, and that's tomorrow.
Yeah, the Sask-Alta League final. St. Walburg and Hillmont, and again, another one that was somewhat similar to the Bonnyville series, where Hillmont had their chances. St. Walburg wins in overtime. And the other night, Hillmont had a nice, comfortable lead going into the 3rd period, and the 3rd period let them down. St. Walburg kind of rolled in that 3rd period and picked up a win on Friday. And now they're down 3-1, Hillmont is, and they're back home tomorrow night, which is a big game for the Hitmen. St. Walburg's a good, solid hockey team. They're a little bigger. They have some good local talent, and they have some few boys from outside of this area that have come in and have really made a difference in that organization over the last number of years. Their first year in the league, but they're showing they belong, and it's going to be a good game on tomorrow night in Hillmont.
And as you were kind of mentioning with the Pontiac series for Hillmont, it's got to be the same thing of, obviously you're disappointed with the last game's result. It still comes down to not taking a shift off. As much as you might be hyped when you're at home, or as much as you might be tense because you realize you have to win this game, try not to overthink every play or try to do too much on every play.
Control your emotions, and that's what playoffs are. It's controlled emotion, controlled aggression, and right now you're down 3-1, so every time that you finish a check, don't go beyond that, because all of a sudden you result in a penalty. You don't want to give up power plays in the playoffs, and power plays can kill you in the playoffs, and for the most part, it looked like it did against Bonnyville, it looked like it is against Hillmont. So right now they just have to go out and win a shift at a time, a period at a time, and try to get to the next game. That's all you want to do right now. If you're Hillmont, if you're Bonnyville, you just want to keep on trying to win. Try to get back to Bonnyville, because honestly, they're down 2-0. There is a chance Bonnyville Pontiac fans may have seen the last of Pontiacs for this season. Which will certainly be very disappointing for that group of fans that filled the RJ Lalonde Arena on Friday and Saturday. Even closer to home here, the Lloydminster Comprehensive Barons basketball team, as we said before, their first ever Saskatchewan Regional Championship. And really quick, the men's team winning it all, and they will be in hoopla this weekend with plenty of momentum. And they've played against some pretty good teams along this season to get ready for this. So they played against teams out of Saskatoon, Walter Murray. They also played against Leopoldus out of Regina. So they've had some pretty good competition against some pretty big schools. Leopoldus, I'm a Regina boy. Leopoldus is a big high school. Very good football program, very strong basketball program. And Murray, too, in Saskatoon is another good, strong program, a bigger school than Lloyd Comp. So they had good challenges against them, played good games against them. So a good sign that maybe they are ready for hoopla and ready for the big stage. And that'll also come down to consistency, as each game will be single elimination, and just like that, your end could run in late March. We'll have more after the break and more in the next hour on Primetime Local News.